Crongton Nights by Wheatle. Crongton Nights is part of the Crongton sequence. The other books written so far in the series are Straight Outta Crongton and Little Bit. In this extract, the narrator, McKay, is walking with his older brother Nestor after they have been to the police station to report the theft of Nestor's bike. Stop and search. We walked back along the high street. There were now 6 feds on patrol, 3 on either side. The hot rooster takeaway was teasing my nostrils. Nestor was still jibber-jabbering away about Yvonne this and Yvonne that. It was funny. He hadn't said a fat zero to me about her before today. It sounds cold, but I blocked him out. A couple or so days ago, Dad had bought a tray of chicken fillets that he had left in the fridge. I wanted to get back, slice and dice up a piece of prime rooster, spin some seasoning on it, chop up onions, peppers, garlic, and stir-fry that mother with some veg and a serious dose of Jamaican jerk. Yeah, I think there was a little bit of olive oil left to fry it in. I'd let it steam for a few minutes under some foil and get it swelling all sexy and ripe for thinking. And a pot of rice too, boiled up sweetly on the stove to go with it. My mouth was watering big time. So what do you think? Nestor asked me as we headed towards South Crongton. Think of what? I said. Haven't you been listening to me, McKay? Yvonne, innit? Yvonne, I repeated. What about her? What's the matter with you? I asked you what you think of her. Oh, she seems cool, I answered. But crush your balls. She has you under lock though. Go to the Fed station, speak to your dad. No, she ain't, Nestor argued. I just respect her. I killed another smirk. We rode towards a shop in the middle of our estate because Nestor was thirsty. I hoped he would buy me a drink too. I was wondering if Nestor was going to step back to our castle with me when I saw flashing blue lights about 100 meters away, not too far from the shop. Step it up, bruv, Nestor told me. Something's going down. We hot-towed to the scene. A crowd had gathered on the pavement outside the store. A Fed car was parked up and Mr. Dagthorne, the forever stressed-out, bald-headed owner of the place, was pointing this way and that, mauling the ears of 2 male Feds. About 30 meters away, 2 other Feds were dragging a hood rat off towards their car, which they parked a little further along the road. Collie Vulture! His hands were cuffed behind his back. Curses spat from his mouth. His bike was abandoned on the pavement. I glanced at Nestor. He was shaking his head and spitting something dark under his breath. I spotted Boy from the Hills leaning against the shop door and bounced up to him. What's the score? I asked. Collie jacked a bottle of tonic wine from the shop, but when he jumped on his bike, the Feds appeared out of nowhere. I shook my head. Collie was raging. He'd promised Mr. Dagthorne he'd pay him tomorrow, Boy from the Hills added. Rewound earlier in the afternoon when Collie asked Yvonne for a $5 for collecting me from school. It was messed up how small dramas could turn into major blockbusters. I've banned him from coming in here, but he's always stealing from my shop, ranted Mr. Dagthorne to the officers. Sweets, chocolate bars, chewing gum, porno mags. I'm sick and tired of young people robbing from me. Throw away the bloody key, I say. Collie heard what Mr. Dagthorne said and wasted no time in biting back. Screw you, old man. I said I'd pay for the drink tomorrow, and I would have. The Feds tried to shove Collie into the back seat of their car. Collie put up enough resistance. Get in the car, one of the Feds ordered. In trying to get away, Collie banged his head on the door handle. A red mark appeared across his eyebrow. Onlookers raged their disapproval. More people were starting to pay attention now. Windows opened in the slabs above us. A council worker wearing a yellow Dayglow top stopped sweeping the street and tuned in to the drama. Don't you ever enter my shop again, yelled Mr. Dagthorne. You probably even steal from the prison canteen. Someone threw a fat stone, hitting one of the Fed cars on its bonnet. We all turned to see a hood rat, Usain, bolting away from the scene towards Warwick Way. The soles of his trainers were bright orange. I tried not to laugh, but it was well funny. The feds weren't exactly singing "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life." Poor Collie yelped and shrieked as they slam-dunked him hard through the car door. Nestor's expression switched. Someone threw another stone and blitzed the front window of Mr. Dagthorne's shop. A 9 or 10-year-old boy laughed as he burned off through the estate, a Fed hot on his heels. Boy from the hills and I stepped away quickly, not wanting to get caught up in any trouble. "Everyone calm down," shouted an officer. "You see what I have to put up with?" roared Mr. Dagthorne, his hands now on his head. "You see how much respect they have for me? Do I deserve this? If I wasn't here, where would they go to get their milk for the morning? I'm just trying to make a living, and this is how they treat me." Nestor approached the officers who had Collie. "If I pay for the drink he jacked, will you let him go?" "He's committed a crime," a Fed replied. "We can't have everybody walking into shops and taking what they like." "It doesn't even cost £3, said Nestor, "and Dagthorne charges 50 pence more than the supermarket. Friggin' thief." "I'll pay for it, and trust me, after I spill to his sis, he won't ever jack from the shop again." I wasn't sure if Nestor had £3 on him. My own funds were low. I only had 27 pence blessed in my pocket. The Fed shook his head and slammed the car door. The other officer climbed into the driver's seat and switched the ignition. Nestor slapped the window. Mr. Dagthorne had stopped his ranting and was now watching my brother like everybody else. "Nestor," I called. He didn't hear me. The Kraken was about to be set loose. Oh, crap. "Can't you feds be on a frickin' level?" Nestor raged, hammering the top of the Fed car. "Why arrest him for something that don't even cost £3? Let him go. Nobody was hurt. He hasn't even touched the bottle. It can go back on the friggin' shelf." My heartbeat accelerated. The officer inside the car pushed the passenger door open. It smacked Nestor in the leg, nearly knocking him over. "Why don't you move along," ordered the officer to my brother, "and go home." I could feel Nestor's rage burst. Without hesitation, he ran into the Fed and head-butted him dead in the chest. The officer lost his balance and fell hard onto the ground. Someone cheered from the pavement. A girl giggled hysterically. Even the road sweeper had a smile on his face. Others stared in disbelief. "Nestor!" I shouted again. The Feds gathered round. 2 of them grabbed my bro in a hard bear hug, almost strangling him, trying to put cuffs on him. Nestor wriggled this way and that, kicked and flailed. He managed to scratch a face or two, but he was overpowered. Everyone around me cussed the Feds. A voice inside me screamed, "Don't stand up there like a pussy. Help him, help him." I started off to Nestor's aid, but Boy from the Hills barged me to the ground and said, "McKay, keep your big self still." My right knee kissed the concrete. The Feds are arresting my bro. And how's your dad gonna feel when news beats him that not 1, but 2 of his boys are sinking oats in a Fed cell? By the time I climbed to my feet, Nestor was being handcuffed. All struggle left him. His chest was heaving, but he was weirdly calm. I think he was staring at me. His mouth was moving. I guessed that what he was saying, he wouldn't want me to tell Dad. They shoved him into another car. Doors were slammed. Engines were revved. I watched as they sped away. He didn't look back. The road sweeper resumed sweeping.